Yeah, guys, a big question actually, and many on our digital platforms wondering. And here it is, and must discuss it. Give us your pearls of wisdom with regards to this. How will it affect things, just generally in terms of preparation for the tournament? Temba, I must give it to you, Skipper first.
Yeah, look, the team, I mean, we don't sit in a comfortable position when it comes to the log, so, you know, forfeiting games won't do us any good from that point of view. So I think the equation now is us to win 7 out of 7 or 8 out of 8, something like that. And that's obviously quite a tough task to do, but you know, they are the qualifiers, so I mean that becomes a real reality that we have to face as a team. And look, if that's the case, then that's what we're going to have to go through. Go to Zimbabwe, play the qualifiers, get ourselves into the World Cup, and see how far we can go there.
Dare I say, Eric? Dare I?
You're going to.
I'm going to, because devil's advocate is the part that fits me quite nicely. What about non-qualification as a result? What does that?
Can we move on to the next question?
I don't have
it's not an option.
It's not an option.
It's a case of how, not a case of if.
It's not a case of if.
I think to contextualize, I think it's not like we were in a good position. We decided, okay, we're probably going to make it so we can give this up. We're not in a good position, even with these three to play. Take those away, you're under more pressure. But I think the point that Temba makes is correct. I think it's very likely we're going to have to go through a qualification process to do it. And that's just going to be our challenge. That's what we're going to do.
Big point here. These 3 ODIs against England don't count. They're not in the Super League. So what does that mean as far as you're concerned? Rob, is it freedom and away you go, or is it a find X and Y so that when qualification turns up, things are kind of okay? What does it mean?
I think it provides South Africa with a great opportunity to play against one of the best teams in the world in white ball cricket over the last 7 years, and actually play a brand of cricket that's good enough to maybe beat England, but also win the World Cup. I think that's actually what it provides itself. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, and just about not qualifying potentially. I mean, 7 out of 7 or 8 out of 8, as Temba mentioned, is hard work. So worst case scenario, we're probably going to be looking at that. But here's another one. As South Africa has shown, of all the top teams in world cricket, that where the game's going, are we cutting edge in terms of saying we'll park the World Cup and we'll develop a different business model to cricket? You know, so you got to look at that as well.
No, but are you saying that's what they're doing and that's what they have done? Give me more of your thoughts.
I think they're being quite cutting edge, to be honest. I think they're going to probably lead the way. Maybe you'll see New Zealand go that route eventually down the line. Maybe the West Indies will do the same and say, well, we'll come to Zimbabwe or wherever qualifying is and try and qualify for that World Cup. I mean, the one advantage South Africa has is that it's not a far way to travel to Zimbabwe, so it's almost like playing. So you got to see the silver lining in everything, you know. So I think it's quite cutting edge, personally.
No, I was just going to talk a little bit about play a certain brand because of. I think we should be doing that anyway. I don't think the situation should dictate. I think we should be trying to find that way. The other thing I don't like is the selection experiment.
What do you mean by selection experiment?
Well, there was part of that question. So I believe in. I think team cohesion is misunderstood, particularly in the modern game where there's so many formats and there's so many tournaments and people are in and out. But I think it's almost like if you could go to talking about the T20 World Cup, you're saying, what is the team to play in the final? And you start selecting it now. And you learn to play together, that partnership in the middle, the top order, how they work together. I think it's an undervalued part of cricket is cohesion and that playing together. I think that needs to be put in place. So I think we should be playing the brand we want to play regardless of whether there was a point at stake or not. And I think I don't like the word experiment when it comes to selection. We need to be building the team.
Don't worry. He's right here.
Shall I talk to him?
Yeah, we're going to ask him. Is there a brand? Is there a way? Is that all mapped out? Are you happy with where you are, yourself and Bouch and the rest? Tell us.
Look, I'd like to believe people think there is a brand that we're playing. People being outside of the team.
Right.
I think back to the ODI series we played against India. Those didn't count for points. But the conversations that we had weren't that we're going to play a different brand of cricket
Right.
because these don't count. I think from the approach was still the same, our preparation was still the same, the intensity was still the same. And I think for us, where the guys find themselves, we're trying to build that momentum. We're trying to build that confidence in one another that when we do get to pressure situations, when we do get to the World Cup and we have to win a game, we know how we're going to go about doing that. It's not going to be any different. And we're going to trust looking at what we've done to get to the point that is enough. You know, ODI team is obviously in a different phase, I could say, within its journey. The other two formats, Test cricket, T20, probably a bit more advanced. So, I mean, these games are super important for that group of guys, for those bunch of guys, in terms of really getting an understanding of how they want to go about their cricket. And all the other guys who might start getting an opportunity, for them as well to start feeling a lot more confident in their ability to contribute to the winning cause of the team or to become the difference in us winning the game.
Okay.
I think the ability to articulate, for each person to articulate the brand the team's playing is important, and that communication is crucially important. And we're always using this word fear, you know, play without fear. And I think that's the important part. When you've defined it, this is the way we're going to play, and then the trust relationship between the coaching staff, the captain, and the players, that if you go out there and we're trying to build that ability to play, and it fails for a while, the trust is there. That's when you can start. The coach and the captain allow you to play without fear because of those communication and because of the structure you put in place. And I think that's what's important. And that should be happening all the time, not because we have a tournament that doesn't count towards the points.
Well, tell you what, there's a whole lot more. We'll get a bit more and give you a bit more. If we can just try and keep him here, you know, and say, hey, Temba, tell me. I told you it was on that WhatsApp group. I'm intent on knowing what's on that WhatsApp group, and I will before this England tour is over.